What's up, people? It's a beautiful Friday morning and we're out for a stroll. It is super duper hot and it was super duper hot yesterday, and I have a bit of a confession to make. I started filming this video yesterday and I just couldn't get through it because it was so hot that we ended up just like hiding in the apartment. But here's how I tried to start it out. What's up, people? I'm just downtown right now, hanging out, just finished getting my hair cut. It's been a pretty crazy morning already. We had to take the cat into the vet this morning. I just stopped to get a haircut, and earlier we had rehearsals, so I got to do this. And it was tons of fun. But now I'm all done downtown, and it's time to go home and see Megan, and we're gonna talk about 5 tips for things you can do when you're bored and broke. All right, let's go. So, we're gonna talk about 5 things that you can do if you're bored and you're trying to save money, or you're broke, or whatever you wanna call that. Number 1 is to take advantage of things that are going on in your city that are free. So Edmonton's pretty awesome for this. They call it Festival City because the summer is full of awesome festivals and things to do that for the most part you can just go enjoy for free. Some of them cost, but usually it's fairly inexpensive. Take a look, maybe your city has a website and it has event information, or you can just check on Facebook for the most part. For example, on Canada Day, which was about a week ago now, we went down to the farmers market on 104th Street and took that all in. Now, a little warning about farmers markets. There are a lot of awesome things there and you're gonna wanna buy and eat everything. So my advice is to either set yourself some kind of a budget, give yourself, 20 bucks or whatever you think you can afford that's going to be within reason for entertainment for that day. Or just tell yourself you're not gonna spend any money and go there and just look at things. It's a lot of fun, there's a lot of beautiful things. It can be a really cool experience, especially Canada Day was really cool. So here's a little clip of us hanging out at the farmers market on Canada Day. So that was Canada Day at the market. One other thing that I recommend is if you're gonna go to a farmer's market like that, make sure you walk around once first. If you're gonna buy anything,
sorry.
If you're gonna buy anything, make sure you walk around once first and then go back around and pick up whatever you want to pick up. Because if you just start buying things, you might miss out on something that you're gonna find later, or you're gonna end up spending more money than you had hoped to. Tip number 2 for what to do if you're bored and broke and need something to do is go for a walk or a stroll or a hike or something like that. Generally, it's free. If you're going to go all the way to like a national park or something like that, they might have some kind of a fee to get in. Although if you're in Canada this year, because of Canada 150, all the national parks are free. You just have to apply for the pass. Get outside, go for a stroll. This is a bit weather dependent, but
you can bundle up, you'll be fine.
So we're just walking around our neighborhood right now, and we're just kind of taking it in, Listen to the trees, take in all the sunshine, smell the freshly cut grass. There's so much outside that we take for granted that's super helpful for your body and for your mind and for your spirit. So just don't sit inside too long. You just get too cooped up and it just makes things worse. It makes you more bored after a while. Tip number 3 is kind of a combined tip. It starts out with doing something that's a hobby of yours. Chances are this is something that you're already doing, you already have all the equipment for, and you can just, pour a little bit of your spare time into that. Now, the flip side of this is if, let's say, you don't really have any hobbies that you have going on currently that you can pour more time into, you can learn something new. For example, I go through these crazy phases where I just want to learn all the time. I'm a perpetual learner. I always want to be doing something new, and it kind of drives me and it fills up a lot of that free time that I no longer actually really have. But when I do have free time, it fills up a lot of that time. For a while there, I learned how to solve Rubik's Cubes, and I was trying to get faster at that. So that would take up any little free time that I did have. Or for a while, I was convinced that I was going to learn to write a novel, which never actually happened, but I did a lot of research into what I was going to have to learn to get there. Then the vlogging came up, and so that's now my thing, is I make YouTube videos. So I learned a new skill, and now it's actually transferring into more things. I'm shooting music videos for people, I'm doing photography, and it's actually becoming something that is monetizable as well. So it's almost a second job, some way not only to spend my time, but also to make more money. So instead of just saying, how can I save money? This is actually now making me money. Now, you want to be very careful with that because you don't want it to become something that you no longer like doing. If you do turn it into almost a second job or another source of income, you don't want to ever become disenchanted with it. You want to make sure that it's still something that you love to do. But to qualify what I just said, here's a little clip that my wife and I made. She's really into yoga right now, and I'm really into video making. So we went for a little stroll down at White Mud Creek, and we made a little video of her doing some yoga in the beautiful nature. Hit the clip. Tip number 4 is about food, because it seems like when we have time off or we have extra time or we're bored, we tend to spend money on food. We like to eat out, we like to engage in social aspects of eating. One thing that you can do, and this may seem fairly obvious, is find some cool recipes that you can make at home that are something new and interesting. For example, it's been stupid hot lately in our apartment, and Megan found this awesome recipe for these simple popsicles. So we went to the dollar store and spent $1 on little popsicle maker holder things that you can make popsicles in. And then all we did is took a blender, threw some watermelon, threw some cucumber, a little bit of, I think it was agave nectar, like some sweetener in there, and you just throw that all into these little popsicle holders and pop them in the freezer. All of a sudden you got something that would have cost a lot more money. Now all of a sudden we got it for basically $1 or $2. Pretty awesome. And now we've got cool little summer treats that for the two of us are gonna last us a couple of weeks, and then we can just make another batch because they were super easy to put together. And the 5th and final tip is rest. Give yourself a break. I know all of these other tips have been very kind of active, how do I spend my time and that kind of thing, but I think one that people overlook a lot of the time is just to give yourself the ability to rest, just not to do anything. Maybe come up with some kind of a theme of movies to watch. In the past we've done like Tom Hanks movies, Christopher Nolan movies, something like that, something that can take up some of the time, but just allow yourself to relax. you don't have to always be doing something to fill up the time. And I think a lot of that is something mentally or internally that you have to kind of overcome, because we're always told that we have to be being productive and we have to be doing something. And this is something that I personally struggle with a lot. I feel like I should always be doing something to be efficient or be productive. And sometimes you just have to relax. One little tidbit that I want to end this off with is try to remind yourself why you're saving. So maybe you're having a tough time right now with your budget, or maybe you're saving up to buy something. Just try and keep that in the back of your mind, something that you can continuously remind yourself when you have to make your decisions of what you're going to do that day. So if you're gonna have a snack, maybe having the homemade popsicles versus running to the corner store and buying the $3 treat is the better choice because of blank, 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 I'm saving money for this. Or when you look at your bank account, you don't see the numbers that you would like to see. So that will help you decide in the right fashion what you should be doing. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you liked the video, make sure to give that little thumbs up button a tap, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification so it tells you when I upload new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.